Hello, I'm Jeff. I want to share with you how I make cider. I've been making cider for over 10 years and have been reasonably successful at it. The cider that I make probably tastes close to the type of cider that they make in Normandy, France. I'll take you through the various stages. Firstly, find some apples. Any windfall will do, any type of apple. Don't worry if the apples are quite badly bruised, you can still use them. Obviously you don't want apples that are starting to go black and rot. Once you've collected the apples, the next thing to do is briefly wash them. Just get any old tub with some water and brush off any dirt, insects. The next thing I do is cut through the apples to see if there's any sign of maggots. This one's clear. This one had early signs of maggot infestation at the top, and I just cut that out. If you're going to be making cider regularly, then there's a certain amount of equipment you'll need. 1 gallon demijohns with a bubble airlock and bung. An apple press. Some people make their own, but there are many good quality ones available from high street brewing shops or online outlets. An apple mill is very useful for cutting up the apples before you put them in the press, but is not absolutely essential. Next step, start milling the apples. The fragmented apples fall into the press below. You then remove the mill from the top of the press and put the head of the press back on. Screw the top of the press down onto the milled apple, and soon the juice will come flowing out of the bottom of the press. When you're using the press, don't be afraid to screw down as hard as you can to get as much apple juice as you can out of the batch. You'll get a good flow first of all, and then after a few minutes it will ease off. In fact, if you wait a few more hours or overnight even, you'll get another flow of apple juice. So I'd recommend that you don't dismantle the press and put more apple in until the flow of apple juice has definitely stopped. What I do then is put a funnel in the top of the demijohn that you're collecting the apple juice in, and then on top of that put a kitchen sieve, and then pour the contents into the demijohn. There you go, I've got a full demijohn. Put the airlock back on the top. Once the juice is in the demijohn, it will start to ferment because of natural yeasts on the surface of the apple. You can see it bubbling, a sign that fermentation is underway. After about a week or two, the bubbling will ease off. At this stage, if you want to increase the alcohol content of the final cider, you can add some more sugar, about half a cup of sugar to 1 gallon demijohn. The cider in this demijohn, it's been fermenting for about a month and it's virtually stopped bubbling. So that means it's time to rack the cider. That is, siphon off the cider from the lees or deposit in the bottom of the demijohn. I do the siphoning by using one of these devices, which you can buy from any winemaking shop or online store. I should mention that when making craft cider, I don't add any chemicals or additives. I do put in sugar during the later stages of the process. As for using a hydrometer, I do use one occasionally, but I wouldn't say that it was essential. After racking the cider, clean out the demijohn and return the cider to it. Top up with tap water and fit the bung and airlock. From then on you can store the cider away in a cool place for the next few months. What happens over that time is that you get secondary fermentation or malolactic fermentation, which generally improves the quality of the cider. If you made the cider in the autumn, then it should be ready to drink by about Christmas, after about 3 months. What you get at that stage is dry, still cider, although there will be a little bit of fizziness. You can always carbonate it further if you want it even fizzier. I don't usually like it dry, but like some sweetness, and add sugar. You don't want to add too much and over sweeten it, so do it in steps. When the cider is ready to be drunk, I rack it off again into a bucket. Then add about half a mugful of sugar. Give it a good stir. Make sure it's fully dissolved. Then after about 5 minutes, take a sample and see if the cider is sweet or dry enough according to your needs. You can then add more sugar if you so desire. Return the cider to the demijohn. What I then do is get an old lemonade bottle and pour the cider into that, up to the top, Then put the lemonade bottle in the fridge. Drink it whenever you fancy a glass. As I mentioned, the cider can be drunk a few months after the initial fermentation has ended. But I have kept cider in a demijohn for well over a year and it's tasted fine. Occasionally you'll have a bad batch which can't be drunk. It's difficult to know sometimes why that happens, but don't let that deter you. That's all I've got to say about the method I use for making cider. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your cider.